I'm with the Clemson Insider, and today we're here on Thursday, the final day of the ACC Media Kickoff, and of course we're talking about our Clemson Tigers and what all they had to say at the press conferences today. Cameron, what were some things that really stood out to you today from Coach Sweeney at the press conferences?
Yeah, I think the first thing, obviously, the national talk right now is NIL and transfer portal. Dabo obviously likes to try to stay out of the NIL talk as much as he can, but I will say when we were over in the breakout rooms, he said it's like fantasy land over there, and I get it. He doesn't want to get into all those details because he might go for 30 minutes, but talking about the transfer portal, obviously he sticks to his high school football recruiting, and he said the success is part of the reason why they haven't dug too deep into the transfer portal, because if you're able to pull in all these recruits and have these top 10, top 15 classes and maintain that success, he doesn't need to change his formula. And obviously being here for 15 years, that helps validate that. And obviously if they have another good year, why would he change what he's doing? So I think that's part of what he sticks to what he's doing.
Right, and he talked a lot about, never having the highest recruiting class, but still being one of the most winning teams in the country. And I think that was really important when he was talking about the brand of Clemson and how many guys stay and want to stay and graduate from Clemson. So I think that's clearly something that he values highly. What did you think about what he had to say about Cade?
Yeah, he said a really interesting quote, which was, now he knows what he didn't know. So looking at it from that different kind of lens, because obviously you learn stuff, but then looking where you can improve instead of just trying to add more things to the arsenal, it's seeing where he can change from last year. And obviously it's a very different time from last year. He comes in as the way you look when a NFL drafts a rookie and they have to be like a franchise quarterback. He comes in with that kind of image where you have to be the poster boy. You have to handle all this pressure and do all these things. And it seemed like Dabo had a smile on his face talking about Cade the whole time. And it was no different when Cade was up on the podium. He seemed really poised up on the stage, and he seems really excited. And seems like he's in a good spot for this year. And then Cade had talked about how he had added some good weight onto his body. Feels like he can go out there. Everybody knows he's a mobile quarterback. He can move around as necessary. And it seems like he's in a good spot heading into 2023.
For sure, and he also talked in the breakout room about feeling like he was grounded with the people around him, and he felt like he was able to kind of tune out the outside noise and hype around him, which I think is really important with the situation that he's in right now. What did you think about anything that Tyler Davis had to say?
Yeah, so Tyler Davis is a guy, he's a little bit of a quiet guy sometimes, but I will say they put him on the spot up there on the podium, and they said, oh, well, what defines success for Clemson football? And obviously it's a high standard with Clemson football, and they asked him, do you have to win a championship to be successful? And obviously his first reaction was to laugh in the moment and just kind of like, oh no, I just got put on the spot like that. But after a couple seconds, he said, yeah, a championship's what's defined success at Clemson football. Obviously, Pitt had the conference championship a couple years ago, but other than that, Clemson's run the show in the ACC, and I think that's a standard that they want to stick to. And obviously, Tyler Davis coming back for this other year, and he'll be a really highly touted NFL draft prospect. So I think he understands that if he's going to come back for another year, they have to be dominant.
For sure. Okay, now it's time to get to the heavy-hitting question. What did you think about Will Putnam's response to Eric McLean's question about the offensive line beards at Clemson?
Dude, I'll tell you what, it was funny because he's so funny, and I'm sitting there, we're all in the room, and I look over to my right, and they hand Eric the mic, and I'm like, oh Lord, this is gonna be good. And he looks up, and I could see Will almost roll his eyes. He's like, oh, this is gonna be something. And he asked about the beard, and Will took a bite of the humble pie in that moment, and he was like, well, me personally, I can't grow the beard as much as the other guys, but he said the tradition will definitely be coming back around, and I think it should, me personally. So.
There we go. Well, we know that's another Clemson tradition that's sticking around. We'll keep you guys posted with all of the latest coverage from the rest of Media Days and also getting ready for this season.